Hi parents, how are you? Hope you had a wonderful Halloween weekend and daylight savings, all those things all in one weekend. But I am so excited to start November. And like I said in my email, we're gonna add kind of another layer of learning. Everybody's seemed to do okay so far, so I'm gonna step it up a little bit. If this becomes a lot, please just reach out to me and I'll kind of show you how to like take some back or just don't do parts of it. Please make it work for your family. But I know a lot of the kiddos that you guys have sent me some of their like assessments and things like that, like I think they're ready for it. So I am gonna kind of step it up a little bit. If it's a little too much, just either kind of play it down a little bit or just skip it, whatever you need to do, okay? But in your lesson plans, we are gonna do a lot of stuff with leaves. All the leaves are finally starting to change. So maybe sometime today, go out on a nature walk and just try to gather as many leaves as you can if you don't have a yard that has leaves. But they could literally be anything, like from, you know, like I gathered some from like our flowers that were dying and things from our garden and different stuff. That way they can be leaves that have already dried out or leaves that haven't, maybe a combination of both. But like we have like a leaf rubbing. I'll do that with the kids where they just take a paper and you put the leaf under the paper and rub on it. I'll show you some other fun ones you can do where you like color with a marker on the leaf and press it. So you'll need some dry ones and some not dry ones. And then my idea for one of the center tubs, like during like math centers, if you will, is to just throw a bunch of leaves into a tub and let them cut them. Because I think that is one area that we do need to have a little bit of practice in. I kind of have seen some of you that have sent videos or texts or different things that way that maybe a little extra scissor skills wouldn't hurt. It's definitely something that takes a little while. Those muscles take a long time to strengthen. And then we are also going to be starting a weather journal. So this is something new and I sent it to you, but I'm just gonna do this for Olivia and I'll write her name. And I didn't staple mine yet because I wanted to show you the pictures, but I'll probably put like 2 little staples up at the top. Then the next page in their packet, you can either have this separate, like if your kiddo is getting really good at writing, maybe have one of these kind of separate to the packet so they can set them side by side when they're trying to write the words so they're not trying to like flip back and forth, back and forth. For Olivia, she's not quite ready yet, so I'll need to do lots of helping when we do the writing. So this I just put as the next page. And we'll just kind of talk about the words in the pictures and work more on like a verbal vocab than a writing vocab. And then the next page is the graph. So you'll go to this each day. You can even do it more than the 3 days of preschool, however much you want to do, but it's just kind of fun. November's a great month to kind of talk about the weather because there might actually be a day with snow or with rain or a stormy day, or sometimes we get lucky and we can see these, like all of them, sunny days, cloudy days, everything. So just trying to get them to recognize, and we'll talk about it in class too, like talking about what a graph is and where we start and things like that. But we'll do that each day. And then they'll need one of these pages for each day that we do the weather in preschool. So we'll at least need 3 days a week, 4 weeks. So we'll at least need 12 of these pages. But if you want to print off more because you want to do it on Mondays and Fridays as well, that's totally fine. But we're just going to run through it, talk about what the season is, what's the temperature for the day, what does the sky look like, try to get them to start kind of drawing and recognizing that. And then maybe like what's something fun they would wear on a day like today. Like if it's snowy out, we don't want to wear flip-flops, that sort of thing, just to try to get them thinking. And then we'll color what the weather's like. And then we're going to have them predict. We're going to talk about a science word, predict, and have them think about what will tomorrow be? What do they predict tomorrow will be? And they can either write the word or draw the picture. Like I said, Olivia is going to be working on kind of more visual and verbal vocab words where some of the kiddos might actually be able to look at their chart. So this is the part I was telling you would be good to have them side by side. So they could look at their words over here and write it on the line, or they can draw a picture, or they can do both. Wherever they are at academically, if they can write, it's kind of a great way to sneak in like, oh, copy the word, write the word, that sort of thing. So that's the weather. And then there's also in that November packet, I tried to give you guys a lot of things to do so that you can start doing those centers. And those are so important so the kids aren't just always sitting and either watching me or watching a screen to learn, or doing like a worksheet paper or an activity kind of thing, that they are still doing such amazing learning through centers. I, in my own preschool, rely about half on centers and half like directed teaching, like me teaching. I rely half and half. So that's how important it is. But I know it's really challenging to set up centers. So I kind of wanted to show you, give you lots of easy ways to do it. Containers from the dollar store are super easy. These tubs, I got them at Fred Meyer. They're like 89 cents or something, or $1. Target has them as well. But these make great little tubs to set up little mini centers. And then I just always keep an eye out at the store, the dollar store, Target's Dollar Spot or whatever. Like, you can find little mini erasers. I found these beads at a garage sale. And then you can just throw them in like a bag and wash them in the washer and some, like in the dishwasher, which is kind of nice. But anyway, so find just some fun things that they can do, like the ABC centers this week. So for Olivia, because we're still practicing, I'm probably only I'm gonna laminate these first. That's why I'm ready yet, but I'm gonna laminate them and then I can use them for lots of years. You wouldn't necessarily need to laminate them. But you just cut them out, and then you can see there's a line to cut them in half. So hopefully the kids will start to recognize big A, big B, little b, that sort of thing, by using the picture as kind of a hint or a clue on how to put them together. There's also a harder one. If your kiddo is ready, there's like the pumpkin pie one, and like leaves, I think, or 2 leaves. I can't remember. If you scroll down in that November unit, you'll see it. But then those ones, they just have to know what matches. So it's kind of nice that first week, like a review, I would just have them do this. Even if it's easy, it's okay. But to make it more fun, you can hide them, like hide the pieces. Like, I'm gonna hide some of the pieces in, like, all the capital letters are gonna be hiding in this bead tub. And then they have to dig through and try to match it up with the little letters. So that's what I'm gonna do for Olivia. So sometimes just hiding the letters, or sticking them in Play-Doh, or burying them in sugar or salt, whatever, just kind of makes it a little bit more fun. They think, oh, this is a cool game, and don't realize that they're practicing their ABCs. If you're ready and they can do a whole bunch of them, you could do all the letters if that's where they were at. Or maybe all the letters in their name, kind of use it for what they need to practice. Or if you did the assessment and you were like, oh, these 10 letters they don't know yet, then maybe use those 10 letters so they're seeing them a whole bunch. So there's your 2 centers. And then the other big thing that we're gonna bring in this week, that next layer, is we're gonna start talking about numbers. So I think I emailed these to you guys, but I'll send them again just in case. But these are the number cards. So there's a couple different versions. There's one that just has the 2 and the 10 frame. And then there's also ones that also have the objects, 1, 2. And I kind of like to show it all of the ways to learn the numbers. And just like I teach letters, I teach numbers in kind of a holistic way. So not only are we going to do the side of this is the number 2, kind of that abstract number, we're also going to talk about it as a quantity. So there's 2 equals 2 objects. We're also going to talk about it on a 10 frame to see it in another way, that we've got 2 on a 10 frame that's part of a whole. Just to really, like, we're going to set a good foundation to where when they get into kindergarten and 1st grade and they're doing that subtraction and addition, they have that amazing number sense of what 2 looks like. Like, if I told you, imagine 2 things in your head, it'd be really easy for you to pop it up, but that's not necessarily the case for them. So we're gonna help them build this amazing number sense of what 2 looks like. That sometimes it could be, you know, two different things. 2 could be a carrot and an apple, or 2 could be a bunny and, you know, a potato. Like it could be 2 random things, but just that idea of like, can they see the number really, really well? So I've got these cards, like I hung them up in, we have like a bedroom that we're using for some of our school stuff right now. And so I hung these up on the wall. So that way both Jackson and Olivia can see them every day. And the more they see something, the more we're gonna set that foundation and that background knowledge for those numbers and those letters. So if you have a spot where they can go up, or even buy like a poster from Amazon, just something to where they're seeing that visual over and over and over again, will make learning those numbers or letters that much easier. So anyways, for the other thing with numbers is, not only do I want them to just see it, I want them to experience it. So grab Legos, grab mini erasers from the dollar store or from Target, beads, I mean, whatever you have, beans, noodles, whatever, grab it, because we're gonna do, with each number, we want them to play with it. Or food is usually a great one. Like in preschool, I always pull out the goldfish and I say, show me 5 goldfish, and they have to put 5 goldfish in their hands. Or I'll say, okay, eat 1. Now how many do you have? 4. Or I might say, eat 3. How many do you have? 1. And we just start to kind of play with the quantities of the numbers. So you can do this anytime. Like if you're in the car, you could say, you know, Tom, how many red shirts do you see? Or just start to get them to recognize quantities and associate it with a number. That's kind of our big thing for this month, is to really play with those smaller numbers. So don't go over 5. Like pull out some candy from Halloween and say, okay, put out, show me 3, show me 2, show me 4, show me 1. And then you could say like, add 1, how many do you have? Add 2, how many do you have? And just start playing with it. If 5 is too hard, stay under 3, or stay 1 and 2, whatever you need to do to get it started. And then it's always really fun to play with the concept of 0. Like, what does it mean to do 0? And that's what we're gonna do starting tomorrow for our first day of school, is talk about 0. And we'll come back to it a lot as we're learning other quantities. But play some math games. Some of my favorite things to do, I'll show you guys later, is to take a cup. So I'll say, how many do I have? I have 3. And then you hide 1, and you can use your hand or a cup and see if they can figure out how many are hiding. I have 3 objects, but I just hid some. How many did I hide? And they have to say, oh, you hid 1. And then you do it again. You say, okay, I have 3. How many did I hide? And see if they can guess 2. Or you say, I have 3. How many are hiding? All 3. Or there's 3. How many are hiding? 0. So that's kind of the idea. And I'll give you more. I know I'm throwing a lot at you right now, but just to try to kind of get some ideas down to really practice with numbers and quantities, and that's kind of where we're headed this week. Otherwise, everything I feel like is pretty self-explanatory. If you want to, I'll kind of be showing the kids like 2 different ways to do some of our projects this week. But otherwise, it should be really fun. We're gonna do lots of amazing learning. We're gonna start our journals and do all sorts of cool stuff. So anyway, I hope you guys have an awesome week. Please reach out, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.